Hey there, and welcome to Crochet Therapy. I'm Barbara, your host for this episode of Morning Coffee and Crochet, and this is our WIP Wednesday edition. I am going to try and loosen up my my crazy voice this morning. I just haven't had a lot to drink this morning yet. Hmm, not a heavy drinker yet this morning. How is everyone? Good morning. I see Willie and I see Josie and I see Nikki and Patty. And let's see who else I see here. Let me keep going. I see Jay. It is good to see y'all. Good to see y'all. So, I saw some chats before I came live, but then as soon as I went live, StreamYard erased all of the chats from before. So I don't have access to them. But I think that I saw quite a few people on here. So welcome, and I'm glad that you're here. I'm very, very, very excited about this morning. I tried out a stitch last night to see what kind of stitch I want to use to connect my hat, my little squares, and I found one. Well, I didn't actually find one, I invented one. Now, this technique might be out there, but oh, Jay is lurking. Woo, woo, woo. Uh, and so, you do that too? Yeah. Patty says she does that too, exactly the way she does it. On her way in, she just starts drinking coffee. Okay, so first of all, I'm like ready to jump in. I'm so excited about this hat. So I tried this stitch on a couple of squares that I had not woven in the ends yet last night because I didn't want to ruin the ones that that I have already. So my son is a little weird today, and it looks like I might need a little stronger light. And I've got as strong of a light as I have, but I think that we can still make it work. Yeah, I think we can still make it work. There's a lot of light coming in from the window. Can you see that? And so, like right in here, there's a lot of light. And then right here, it looks darker on the screen, but I hope that you can see my squares okay. So I'm really excited about this stitch because I tried just a regular um, single crochet stitch, and it was very puffy right here. So this technique, what I did was I put the wrong sides together, and then I did a slip stitch on my hook, and I slipped into the first square closest to me. I slipped into that stitch, and then I did a slip stitch to lock in that slip knot. Okay, and I did another slip stitch, and then I did a single crochet in that stitch. And then in the stitch on the other side that corresponds with it, I did a slip stitch. So then on the square closest to me, I did a single crochet. And then on the stitch that corresponds with the stitch that I just did a single crochet, I slip stitched. So the single crochet is only on this square. And then the slip stitch is on this square. So I really like it, and I'll show you. This is what the one side looks like with the slip stitch. And this is what the side looks like with this single crochet. And so then this is what the side looks like because I turned it, that I did the slip stitch. So it's going to be not as pronounced as if I did a single crochet into both sides, but it is going to have a nice little ridge. And I like that. I want that ridge. I want that definition. There were other stitches that I saw, the whip stitch using a needle. I don't want to use a needle. That takes too long. My hands get tired of holding the needle like that. I wanted to crochet it. And so there were several different ways that I could crochet it. I could slip stitch the whole thing. I could crochet the whole thing. I could do like a weave, an interweave stitch, but then you have to hold it kind of flat while you're doing it. And I wanted to be able to hold it in my hands. So this is what I came up with. I just kind of combined some techniques that I saw, and this is what I came up with, and I like it. So I hope that, if you want to try it, I will go slow and show you how I'm doing it. I am pretty pleased with this because it has, like I said, it has a ridge, but it's not that big chunky ridge of just doing the single crochet alone by combining both sides. And if it's a little confusing, I will walk you through it so that we can get this together. Um, are we ready to get started? I'm ready to get started. I can't wait. And when I saw this and I saw this charcoal black um, with my colors, I was like super excited last night. Um, so anyway, I'm going to just cut this because I really like this example. So I'm not doing anything with this right at the moment, but I may. You never know. So I just cut it so that I can, let me see, I'm going to weave this end in. There we go. So that's just my example for myself. So let me see, I'm going to put that out of the way. Let's say good morning to everyone. If you're here, tell me that you're here and tell me what's in your cup. I have coffee. I'm going to drink some. I'm going to kind of guzzle some right now. I had some guzzle time. I needed to because I am just getting up, just waking up. I was up late last night. And after I got off the live with you last night, I went in and I don't even know. I put some stuff on the TV, but oh, I know what I did. I put some YouTube on the TV and watched a couple people that I like to catch up with. So that was interesting. So how is everyone? Oh, Nikki, second cup, second pot for you. Willie, let's see. Case. Does that mean coffee? Are you having coffee? Lisa is lurking. Good morning. Jay is lurking. Good morning. Patty, good morning. And Josie, good morning. I thought that Alice was here. I don't know if she is or not right now. I thought I saw her before. Oh, Carla, gotcha. Carla, undercover coffee. I forgot, Carla. I forgot. And you know what? You don't have your squares all done. That's okay. That's okay. Let's start putting this together. And then you can finish your squares and put them together. I'm hoping that this is enough. And if it's not, then I will be getting more together myself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's see, I want to kind of separate. I just want to get a nice, but I don't want it to look like I have, you know, designed my squares. I just kind of want it to look random because after all, it's going to be round in a hat. So it's not going to matter. I don't want to have like a design, right? So let's see. And yet I do. Oh, this is crazy. Okay, so let's see. One, two, three. I think I'm going to do it three high and six wide. I think that's what I'm going to do. So let's see. One, two, three, four, five. Oh, maybe four high. Maybe that's what it was. Wait a minute. Three, two, three, four, five, six. And so that's what I was thinking. I might have to go seven wide. I may have to. So we will see, won't we? Okay. So I think I have. Oh, I made two extras. That's right. I made two extras. So then this one could be. Okay. So I think this might be what I need. And also, I may have to go a little higher. With this, we're going to find out, right? We'll find out. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to crochet in between. I'm going to make rows, okay? So I'm going to make the first row. So what I'm going to do is crochet between each of these squares, going vertically. And so that is going to make a strip, as you can see. And so that's what my goal is first, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull out a lot of yarn. Here we go. Well, enough so that I don't have to keep pulling it out. So the first thing I'm going to do is make a slip knot. There we go. So I'm making a slip knot on my hook, and I'm going to take the first two in the row. Now these are the front of my square. And the way you can see that is that you see the ridge. Can you see the ridge right there along the top and the outside? That is the front. I'm going to show you the back. Now look at the back. Do you see how it all looks just like little lumps and bumps? But you don't see the stitches. You don't see this V stitch that's on the front. So that is actually how you can tell the front from the back of your, your piece of work. So I've got two like this. I am going to put the backs together. Now remember, I'm making a long strip. So I want to make the crochet right here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is in my square, in the corner, I have two chains in each corner. That's how I made um, my um, granny square. Okay. So I did one chain between on the sides and two chains in the corners. So that makes it easy for me because I'm going to go into the chain closest to this side. And what I'm going to do, there is the V and then there's the back hump. So I'm going to go into both stitches on the V. So then I have the back hump right here to hold it. And just to get started, I'm going to hold just this one. I'm going to hold this to my left and make sure that the yarn goes to my left. And I am just going to slip stitch this into that V and then into the original slip knot. So let me show you what it looks like. There we go. And then I'm going to chain one, and in that same stitch I'm going to make a single crochet. Single crochet. So that's my first actual stitch on this side. So on this side, now remember we have our backs together. So on this side, I'm going to find the equivalent of that same stitch right here on the back side. And I am going to go into the same V in the corresponding stitch on the other square. So I slipped my hook in there, and I am just going to do a slip knot, not a slip knot, a slip stitch, excuse me. So I'm going to slip it in and slip it in. So now I'm going to go into the very next stitch on the front square, and I'm going to just go through both loops on the V, and I am going to do a single crochet. And then on this back side, now let's make sure that it doesn't turn on us. There we go. That's the back, and this is corresponding. Make sure it doesn't turn on you, because mine just tried to. All right. So that's what happened. Mine turned on me. Let me go back through. Let me pull that out. You got to make sure. Here we go. So this is a good side. This is the back side. So I have two backs together, and I'm going to hold both of them together so that they don't spin. This is the one that I'm going to do a slip stitch in. I'm going to slip right on through. There we go. And then I'm going to do a single crochet right here. And in the very next stitch on the back, I'm going to do a slip stitch. The next stitch on the front, I'm going to do a single crochet. Once you get it started, it's really easy. I'm going to do a slip stitch on this one. Single crochet. The trick is to go under your yarn. Don't go over your yarn, go under your yarn when you go to the second square. Otherwise, it makes it really hard. Okay, so now I'm in the chain in between, and I'm going to go into that stitch. I'm not going to go into the loop, although I could, and it might make it easier, but I want to keep the integrity. I want to keep the integrity of this stitch. So I'm going into that first square, single crochet, go under the yarn, go into the corresponding on the back. If you don't go under the yarn, then it tends to tangle. Okay, slip stitch. So now, this must be where I've connected. So I have 3 double crochets here. So I'm just going to make sure that I do 3 single crochets here. So 1, and then I'm going to go in the back and correspond, slip stitch. Okay, and here's the other one, single crochet, and then the corresponding one on the back, slip stitch. Whoopsie. There we go. And then single crochet and slip stitch. So this is what I'm going to do. And then I have one last stitch, and that is the one that's in the corner. So I'm going to single crochet and then slip stitch. Sometimes those in the corner are a little hard to get into because, you've just got 3 strands in the whole stitch. So just do your best. There you go. And then what I'm going to do is fasten off. And this is what it looks like. Now this beginning part might look a little different because it has the slip stitch and then it has the there's the single crochet right there. So it looks a little bit bigger, but once you get all of them together, it's going to look fine. I like this stitch a lot. So that's the first one in my row. Let's see. Excuse me. Okay, I'm going to take the next one and I'm going to put the backs together and I'm going to do the same exact thing. I did, Nisi. I made it up. I made it up last night. I didn't like the way to connect it that I was finding last night. So I made my whole new connecting design. I just made it up last because the single crochet by itself, excuse me, was too chunky. And I didn't want all these bumpy chunkies on my hat. But I did want that little bit of a ridge. So, Nisi, I made it up. Good morning, Awanda. Good morning. You have a doctor's appointment? Oh, okay. You're joining now. Nice. Nice. Hey, Nisi. Good morning. So let's get started on the rest of the hat. Okay. So I have the two back sides together. And Awanda, let's see. Oh, it's 9:22. Yeah, you'll be able to catch us up. And okay, so I'm going to start again. Slip knot, just like I did before. Okay, in the corner, there's two stitches. So I'm going to do the left one because I want to go down that row. And I'm going to go in and slip, slip. So I've got the slip stitch here. And chain one, and then go back into that same stitch with a single crochet. Okay, so I've got my first stitch, and then make sure, because I didn't do that last time, I think it got turned around. Make sure that your two backs are together. You should be looking at a front. So you're going to go into the corresponding stitch on the back square, go into both of those loops on the V, and we are going to, you know what? I'm going to try it this way. There we go. Oh, that's easier. Okay, good. That first one I struggled with because, I wasn't under the yarn. So now on the front, I'm going to do a single crochet. I'm going to go under the yarn and find the corresponding on the back, and I'm going to do a slip stitch. Single crochet, slip stitch. Single crochet, slip stitch. Single crochet, slip stitch. This is fun. I can't wait to see what this hat looks like, especially since, it has the charcoal black in between all of the squares. Oh, it's going to be so pretty. So once I get this first row done, I am going to know whether I need to add another one to my row. This is actually going really fast. You see how fast this is going? I'm kind of getting in a groove. I like the way it's coming together. So it's done. That one's done. I'm gonna, there we go. There we go. And so now we have 3 together. Okay, let's get going with another one. Slip knot. And slip into that first stitch on that row in that corner. Slip stitch one more time, and then single crochet. Okay, corresponding. Now, remember when I went down the row, I went under this stitch. So if I go over, when I go into that first one, it makes it harder. So I'm going to go under, slip stitch, woo woo, and single crochet, slip stitch. I like this connecting a lot. Oh my gosh, I'm loving it. Single crochet, and always remember on the back side you're doing a slip stitch. And the stitches should always correspond. So if, like right now, I'm going into excuse me, the chain between the 2 grannies in the row. So, oop, I was talking. I forgot to do my single crochet. So I should be going into the same stitch on the back. So single crochet, slip stitch, single crochet, slip stitch, single crochet, slip stitch. There we go. Now I've got one more in the corner. Don't forget those corners. Single crochet and slip stitch. So these rows are coming together fairly quickly. Oh, yeah, I went under. There we go. Fairly quickly, which is good because that means that once we get these rows together and then we're going up and down, or excuse me, between the rows, that is going to go quickly too. There we go. Okay. 4 together. Really cute. Ready for the next one. Remember to put your wrong sides together. There we go. Hey, Gloria, good to see you. Yeah. Oh, yes, Gloria. I can't wait to see the final result too, right? Okay. I'm so excited. So I did a slip knot, and then I have my wrong sides together, or back sides, whichever one you want to say, and going into a corner stitch. Okay. And I'm going to slip, slip. There we go. Chain 1, single crochet, and then go into the corresponding on the back side, the back square. Oops, and see, I didn't do it. See how I have my yarn over here? If I don't put my yarn under the thread, the yarn, then it makes it harder to do that slip stitch, and the slip stitch doesn't really come out the right way. So now I'm going to do a single crochet and a slip stitch, single crochet, slip stitch, single crochet, slip stitch. This is fun. Oh my gosh, I hope that you guys are having fun with this. I hope you're not bored out of your mind because I am having so much fun. I hope that you're able to follow along. Is anybody else doing the hat? Slip stitch, single crochet, slip stitch. If you're not comfortable with this way of connecting the squares, then by all means do exactly however you want to do for connecting the granny squares. If you want to take a needle and just, do a whip stitch, go for it. The key is to get these squares together, right? That's our goal. Hey, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you see them all? All right. So now we're cooking. You know what? I need a red one on this row, right? I do. Okay, I'm going to do a red one here. I knew, I said that I wasn't going to manipulate, but you know me. I got to get a red one on that row. Okay. Slip knot, and let's get cooking. Go into this corner, and whoop, it is giving me troubles. That first one, will sometimes give you trouble, but just tell it who's boss. Don't be intimidated. It's all good. Slip, slip, and chain one, single crochet into that same stitch. Make sure the backs are together. Make sure you go under this thread right here, this yarn. Go into the corresponding stitch over here in that corner and slip. Then you're going to come back to the front one and single crochet. Go to the back one and slip. Front one, single crochet. Back one, flip. Front one, single crochet. Back one, flip. And continue on down. I'm having fun with this because I'm like making a little a little mantra while I'm doing this, right? Single crochet, slip. So it's helping me to remember what I'm supposed to be doing. So my little shadow kitty has been sick, and I've been really, really worried about her. She's having tummy troubles again. Apparently, it's a thing where kitties can, their tummies, their intestines can forget how to move along, the waste that needs to be moved along. And let's see, here's 6. 6. Is that how many I said I needed? I'm going to real quick move this over to my table where I can measure. And as I'm stretching it out, it's almost at the 20. Okay, let's take a look here. So I'm actually, oh wow, that's interesting. So I'm actually going to stop at 6. Because I don't want it to be too like bulbous. Too, that's a word. Okay, so I have 6 here. I am going to stop at 6. And these are the 2 backs. I'm going to put those together. I've got some ends to weave in, don't I? Oh, yes, I do. Oh my goodness, and we had a little weaving party last night, and everyone on the live last night, you helped me so much to set this up. And I'm just sorry that I can't like face you and do this at the same time. I haven't figured out how to do that. I have to have my laptop here and my work area right in front of me so that I can actually work. And so I haven't figured out how to have that in my face while I'm working so that you can see, so you kind of get the side view. I hope that's okay, or at least for now, right? Um, oh, thank you, Savannah. Hey, Savannah, good to see you, Savannah Cat Chat. Um, oh, what type of wool I'm using? I am using, um, I don't think I have, oh, yes, I do. I have it right here. Okay. So the, um, so the squares are made with, I love this yarn, which is from Hobby Lobby, and it is cinnamon cedar. And then the black charcoal that I'm using to bring it all together is gorgeous, let me tell you. It is Bernat Premium, and it is in gray marl. And this is really pretty. I'm going to see if I can get it to where you can see. Do you see how it's almost like a charcoal? It's like a almost like a blackboard. You know how the blackboard has like a little bits of white in it, but or gray. It's really hard to describe, but it is gorgeous. It is definitely gorgeous. Okay, so let's put this together. So this is slip knot. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to bring these together. Well, okay, so now I'm thinking. You know what? I'm not going to bring them together until I do this whole next row. I'm going to bring all 3 rows together, like make a row, this row, and then I'm going to crochet the rows together, and then I'll crochet once up this side. That's what I'm going to do. So, okay. So I've got this 6 rows or 6 squares in a row. Let me start my second row. Okay. Pardon me for thinking on my feet, but this is a totally made up hat that we are doing together. So you get to see the very first Barbara's Granny Square hat. The very first one, and you get to watch it being made. It's exciting. Oh. Oh, Savannah, are you in Canada by any chance? Because my good friend Alice is in Canada and she calls Hobby Lobby Voldemort because she can't get it there. So I've done my slip stitch, chain 1, and then single crochet. Now I'm going to go into the corresponding, oh, I almost forgot, remember? I got to go under this strand. It really does make it easier. It really does. Okay, slip, and now I'm ready to do my single crochet right here, and then do my slip over here. Yay. Single crochet, slip. I can always tell when it's a row or a section where I have like finished off on the square itself because it's a little chunky. There we go. Oh, yes, okay. So now I'm going to do single crochet, and in the center here, I'm going to do a single crochet or a slip stitch to correspond. There we go. All right. I am so thrilled with how fast this is going through. Like, each little section is going so fast. And then fasten off and pull through. Okay, so the second row, I have 2 squares in my second row. Yay. And I kind of mixed up my my squares here, so I don't really have a whole lot of design here, but I am going to let it do its thing. I said I was going to do that, and then I tried to manipulate it. You know, a girl just can't help it. She wants like a design, but I really do like it better if it looks random. And the only way it's going to look random is if I have some of the same colors next to each other. So I just need to relax and let it happen. So I did my slip stitch, I did my chain 1 and my single crochet. So now in the corresponding back here, oh, and I almost did it again. See how easy that is? I have to make sure I go under that yarn, because if I don't, then this slip is number 1 harder to make, and number 2, it doesn't look as good. Make sure you go under. See how easy it is to do that slip when you go under the yarn? There we go. So if you have some granny squares just sitting around and you haven't done anything with them yet, get this together and start making a hat. This is so fun. Now, when we get to doing the brim, um, we're going to be using some techniques, back loop and front loop probably. I have an idea in my head, but I haven't. Like I said, we're making this on the fly. I have not made one of these yet. So this is fun. We're going to figure out what looks best and what works best. Oh, yeah, yeah. This back one, you know, it's a corner one. Sometimes it's easier to try it to, there we go. There we go. All right. BGSH? I don't know what BGSH is. Oh, you're in the UK. Okay. Carla. I don't know what's happening. So like when we get these together and we do the rows, we're going to then flip this together like this, and we're going to just crochet down that row. So let's get this row going. I'm going to turn off the sound real quick. Okay, I'm back. I had to blow my nose and I didn't want you to see or hear it, so I got out of camera shot. So now you know. Oh, Barbara's Granny Square hat. Nice. Thank you. Thank you, Carla. Oh, so as I was saying earlier, and then I just kind of dropped my thought, my little shadow kitty has been sick. She has that tummy trouble that apparently is, kind of common um, with cats, and I didn't know it. Um, but anyway, she is finally starting to feel a little bit better, which is a relief because every time she gets so sick, and I think, oh, this is it, because she just gets lethargic. She can't eat, she can't drink, and she just really suffers. And so I've even been considering that maybe this is time um, to, you know, send her off on the Rainbow Bridge and say goodbye, which is going to break my heart because she's the kitty that sleeps with me. She snuggles with me every night, right? And but I just can't stand to see her suffering. So but she's on the up right now. Right at the moment, can't. Oh, look what I did. I didn't go under the strand. And if I do that, I know I am going to have the hardest time. See how easy that slip stitch works when you go under that yarn? And that's the very first slip stitch. So it's not like I've established anything yet, but even so, going under that yarn makes it so much easier. So anyway, my poor little kitty, she finally started snuggling with me again last night. See, that's how I know because she won't sleep with me. She will go hide, and I just know her little tummy is just feeling terrible. So I have this medicine that I give her, and sometimes it works really fast, and sometimes it takes a while. And this last time, it just seemed like it took forever. And so finally, she seems like she's coming out of it. So I'm still watching her very closely. And so hopefully I won't have to do anything yet. She's such a sweet kitty. Um, except to other kitties. She doesn't like other kitties. So she just tells them, get away from me. And she's so fierce. She's so tiny. She's the tiniest little kitty, but she's fierce. And here we go. Sometimes that one is hard to get into, right? So we just make sure we do it. There we go. And I've got some strands. Okay, look at this. Woo, woo, we're on 4. 2 more to go, and I'll have this one row done. Yeah, we're going to have some. Look how pretty that is. That is going to be such a pretty hat. I cannot wait. Um, oh, Catherine. Hi, Catherine. You're from Tasmania, Australia. First time on the channel. Looking forward to following you. Oh, thank you for sending love for my kitty. It's crazy that these kitties just grab our hearts, and they're just so so sweet and loving, and we just can't stand it, can we? I can't stand it for sure. So okay, this is the first one. So Catherine, do you have any granny squares lying around? Because you could totally make this hat with me. Let's see. So we're going to do a slip stitch. This is the very first one in this row. Chain 1 and single crochet. And then we're going to find this back side. Make sure I bring the hook under this yarn and then go into the corresponding stitch on the other side. Make sure that the two backs are together, which they are. And pretty much you can tell because of the way the stitches lie. So we'll do a single crochet and a slip stitch. I really like this technique. I am so glad that I played around with it last night and came up with this. That one strand wanted to split, so I'm going to do it again. Let me see. Okay, slip, slip, and single, and slip, and single. It, I started making these squares on Monday. And so I made some on Monday, I made some on Tuesday, and then last night I went live and y'all helped me sew in my ends. And so that was fun. I have quite a few granny squares made because I don't just have these made, but I have all of these that I haven't woven in the ends yet. Plus, I have a whole bunch in other colors that I did. So if I would just weave in the ends, then I could have a whole hat making party. Okay, go into here. That's the last stitch. You know, that last stitch can be challenging because it's in a corner, but we tell it who's boss. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more, and I'll be done with this row. And the exciting thing is that I'm estimating that I just need 3 rows to make this hat because we're going to add a brim to the hat. So we'll see. Oh, Catherine, you've only been learning crochet for the last 4 months? Oh, wow. And you're 63. That's wonderful. I love it. So follow along and we're going to show you and give you so much encouragement for crocheting. I have lots of, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Trying to not have a cold. Do you ever try to do the mind over matter where you're like, I'm not getting a cold? And you're like telling your body, no, we're not doing this. But we have lots of tutorials here. Plus we have a whole community of other crochet content creators, and a lot of them that come on this channel and chat with me, and we get together online and crochet and talk about life, and so I think you're going to have fun. I'm so excited that you're here. So let's see, which one am I going to do for this last one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm going to do Okay, I'm overthinking it. Guys, I'm overthinking it. I'm going to do this one. Okay, because I'm just overthinking it. Make sure you put your back sides together. Back sides together. And okay, so we're going to go into this first stitch and we are going to slip stitch, chain 1, single crochet, and then we're going to go into the corresponding, make sure that the back sides are together, go into the corresponding. I did it again. I should be like singing that "Oops, I Did It Again" song. Oh. Go under that stitch or that thread, because if you don't, it just makes it harder. Okay, single crochet, go into the corresponding, and slip stitch, single crochet, slip stitch, single crochet, slip stitch. I tried making the crochet part a little bit bigger, like the crochet screen a little bit bigger, and my my face screen a little bit smaller, but it was opposite. So I don't know. I think maybe if I send it backwards, like instead of sending it from my laptop to my phone, if I sent it from my phone to my laptop, then my phone would be number one. So I could make that part larger. And I think next time for a crochet along, I will do that because I just think that it would be helpful. And I'm sorry if there's a shadow. It's really hard when you're trying to um, get this right. So let's see. Here is my corresponding. Okay. I am finding this way of joining so easy. Um, I love coming up with easy ways to do things that make me happy. And this one is making me happy. So what do you think? Is this a way that you might try? Or are you looking at it going, oh, that is crazy. I'm never going to do it that way. Okay. Yay. A big brim. I don't think it's going to be too big, but if I need to add another row, then I will. Okay. There we go. Look at that. 2 rows in. Let's do our third row before we start getting all crazy and doing the sides. So let's see. I'm going to do this one and this one together. Okay. I've got so many ends here that it's hard to find the end of my yarn, but that's okay. All right. So I have 6 of these to put together. And then we can start doing long rows, which will be good because that will be nice and fast. Okay, so I did a slip stitch, chain 1, single crochet in that first corner. Now in the corresponding, oh, see, I keep catching myself. In the corresponding corner, do a slip stitch and then do a single crochet and slip stitch, single crochet, slip stitch, single crochet, slip stitch, single crochet. Sorry if I was moving it where you couldn't see it. Slip stitch, single crochet, slip stitch. If I had someone here with me, they could, like Jada and Stitches, she has her husband that can read the comments and everything to her so that she can talk to everybody. Here we go. This last corner. Yep. Sometimes it's easier to just grab that back bump and go through that way. There we go. There we go. Okay, our first 2 are connected on our third row. Yay, it's going to be so pretty. Let's see. Oh, thanks, Nikki. Oh, you like it? Good. Savannah says, when people see me crocheting, I tell them granny squares are a great start because you can make everything from clothes to home designs. You are right. You are absolutely right. It's like having quilt squares, right? If you have a quilt square or if you have any building block, you can make just about anything. I like the way you think. Um, well, I'm trying to be fast. Oh, so let's see. All right, we are 1 hour in already? Wow. Okay, here we go. The great thing about this is if you can't hang around for the whole thing, you can go back and watch it later. All right. See, I did it. See how hard that is? So I'm going to go under. Why is it that I do that every single time? I don't know. Mm-mm-mm. I like the way on the slip stitch side, it makes little V's in the project. Let me see if I can show you. Let me finish this one here. You might not be able to see that. Almost like little X's right here. You may not be able to see that on the screen. Okay. All right. 3 down. Okay. So when we were doing our live, excuse me, on Monday, this whole idea came to me. I mean, y'all are so inspiring to me. As I'm talking to you, as we're crocheting together, as we're chatting about life and things, you just give me so much inspiration, so many ideas. Make sure your back sides are together. I love it that you give me inspiration. I was really in a crochet rut. Seriously. And so I get how that feels when you're in a crochet rut and you don't know what to do next. I totally get that. So not only did you give me a new idea for making this hat, but I also developed a new crochet connection for granny squares, or actually for any type of excuse me, for any type of connecting, not just for granny squares, but for any type of square connection or pattern connection, sides. This would be really cute to do this for um, even like a bag. Like, let's say you have a solid bag, but you need to sew it together. Instead of sewing it, how about doing something like this? This is kind of cool. You're also giving me the opportunity to do the black border around granny squares, like the granny square blankets that I used to see when I was younger, right? All right. So I'm going to do something wild and crazy. I'm going to put another red here. Okay. So connect this. Slip stitch, chain one, single crochet. Now I'm going to remember, I'm going to go under and then connect with a slip stitch. There we go. Nope. Oh yeah. Any color, and it would be great on a blanket. So, oh, I need a drink. Sorry. Excuse me. So, let me show you. Can you see that little tiny bit of a ridge? It has a tiny, tiny ridge. Not much of a ridge, but it does have a tiny ridge, which is what I was going for. And that's why I'm doing the single crochet on one and the slip stitch on the other. Oh, you have a ton of granny squares, Savannah? Nice. Yes, granny squares are so easy to take with you because you just need, one ball of yarn and your hook and a little pair of scissors because you're going to be making granny squares like nobody's business. I really enjoyed making these small granny squares because it was almost like instant gratification because it took no time to do a 2-row granny square. Seriously, it was the fastest thing on planet Earth. Oh my gosh. So here we go. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more, and we're done with the 3 rows. And then we can start putting the rows together, and we can start seeing this hat come together. All right, so what do you think? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more. These are the colors that I have to choose from. Okay, tell me, 1, 2, 3, or 4, excuse me, to connect to here, which will then connect to here. Yes, yes, Savannah, it would definitely work for solid granny squares. In fact, that's what I started out with. I actually started out making all of these solid granny squares. See all of these different colors? And I was just going to make just a crazy quilt looking um, hat. And I was really excited about that. So this ball of yarn was in that bucket that I was making my granny squares with. And so on a whim, I decided to make a square out of it just to see. I was like, well, maybe I'll throw one in. Well, I fell in love with this yarn and these squares so much that I went ahead and made a whole bunch out of one skein of yarn. And it wasn't even a full skein. It had already been used. Um, and I got enough to make this hat. So I'm real excited about it. Now, I used up all the yarn. So I don't have any to correspond for the brim. So what I'm going to use is probably this black for the brim to bring it all together. All right, first one. Okay, okay, Carla, this one. This one is the number 1. That one's really pretty. It has the yellow, gold, orange on the inside and then the maroon on the outside. I like that one too. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. All right. So we're gonna slip, chain 1, single crochet, okay, and hold on just a second. Here we go. All right. Okay, good. There we go. Okay. So I did that. Now I just need to connect to this. Did it again. It really does make a difference. If you go under the yarn, it makes such a difference. I think I just like to keep restarting. Oh my. All right. So if you're just now joining us, we are connecting rows of granny squares. And if I have to do, excuse me, a 4th row, then that will not be a problem because I have, I think, enough yarn to make a 4th row. But since we're doing this, flying by the seat of our pants. All right. Okay. So that is 3 rows of 6. Look at that. So that's going to be the body of our hat. Sorry about that. Hey, Gloria. Okay, you have a great day. Have a great day. Okay. Now we're going to do the quick work of sewing these together or crocheting these together. So make a slip knot. And when I'm crocheting these together, I'm using the same J hook, 6.0 millimeter Clover Amour hook that I used to make the granny squares. And here's the thing, if you are using a different size hook, your granny squares might be different sizes. So what you're going to want to do is try to, with a gentle stretch, make sure that it gets to at least 20 long, or wide rather. Okay? Because that is the circumference of a normal head is anywhere between 20 and 22 inches. Okay. What I'm going to do is pick these up and put wrong sides together. And I'm going to start on this end. Let me see if I can bring this a little bit closer. Did that help any? Let me see. It helped a little bit. Okay, and I'm doing the same thing I just did with all of the little squares. The only difference is I get to do a whole row woo-woo, at one time. And I'll show you how I navigate the corners, okay? So, slip stitch. Chain 1 and single crochet. Go under and find the corresponding right here. There we go. And slip stitch. Okay. Now, corresponding single crochet. What's going on there? Let me see for a second. Okay, there we go. It looked a little strange. Okay. I think I went into this single or this chain instead of this chain. And that will make a difference because if I don't go into the corresponding one, then we have trouble. And if I don't go under, then we have trouble. Okay. Right. One. There we go. That's better. Okay. So now we are getting to this section here. So what I'm going to do in this section, let me see, I'm going to go into that stitch, which is the corner stitch that was not worked. Okay, so the corner stitch that was not worked, I'm going into that stitch just like I did before, and I'm going to go into the corresponding corner stitch that was not worked. And I'm going to do a slip stitch on that one. Now I'm going to cross over and I'm going to go into the corner stitch on the next square. So I've worked the 2 corner stitches on these squares that were not worked. Now I'm going to go over here, and here is the corner stitch that was not worked on this one. Let me get that string out of the way. And I'm going to do a single crochet in that stitch. If I can get the hook in there. There we go. Okay, and then in the corresponding on the back, I'm going to do a slip stitch. And then we're just going to keep going. Just like before. If you have granny squares, run, go get them. And start putting your granny squares together so that we can make this hat together. If you make this hat and you finish it, please be sure to share with me. I would love to see your hat. You can send me pictures to crochet therapy, the number 4, the letter U, at gmail.com. And if you share it with me, then with your permission, I will share it with our community. I can put it on a YouTube community post, and then we can have everybody share their beautiful hats. Okay, so did you see how I just worked the corner stitches that had not been worked? And I know working with a black yarn makes it hard to see, and I apologize for that, but I just had to do this gorgeous hat with a black border. I just had to do it. Goodness, this one. Oh yeah, that's what's happening. Okay. Oh my. Okay, let me see what's happening here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I'm not sure what I did. Excuse me, but when things don't match up, then you know you need to backtrack a little bit. I think I might have skipped one. backtrack just a little bit so that you can make it match. Don't be afraid to just say, wait a minute, let's take a look here. Okay. Let's see. This is an Aran weight yarn. It is, excuse me, it is a 4-weight yarn. And good morning, Catherine. Good morning. We are putting our squares together. Woo woo. So this is a 4-weight yarn. It is an Aran weight yarn. And, you know, having the granny squares is going to make it a little bit holy, but not bad. There we go. Okay. So far, we have 2, 4, 6, 8 squares put together. Look at that. How pretty is that? I am in love. I'm in love with the hat. So we have 2 more squares to put together on this row to connect these 2 rows. And then we have 1 more row to put together. And then we can start assembling our hat and making it actually look like a hat. You know, I'm thinking I might make a pom-pom out of this black. I might do that. Okay. So let's see. So we did that on the corresponding. We're going to jump over and go into the corner stitch that has not been worked and do a single crochet in the front and a slip stitch in the back. The great thing about using granny squares is that you have a pattern that you're working. So it's not just a solid square. So you can tell if your squares are not matching up because you have the 3 double crochets and then you have the chain between. Oop, I'm wanting to switch that up a little bit. I don't want to do that right now. I'm going to keep the pattern. So if you ever get to a point where the stitches are not matching up, then it's time to take a look, examine it a little bit, see what's going on, and make sure that your stitches match up. Yay, the last one. Yep. See, excuse me, see, I skipped this one by mistake. My goodness, I have a frog in my throat. I need to frog my throat. There we go. You can always tell if it's not coming together evenly, then you know you have done something wonky. You need to go back and take a look at it. And figure out what you did. Hmm, hmm, hmm. Okay, so let's take a look. We've got this going. Look at that. All right. So, hey, good morning. Thank you. Thank you, Savannah. I've got 11 people watching, which is not bad for the middle of the day and watching me put a hat together. So now I need to go and do the same thing with the next row, which I'm going to do. Oh, I had a couple dad jokes for you. I can't remember them right now. Oh my goodness. The only one I can remember is a potty joke. And I don't want to tell you a potty joke. I mean, it's not a bad joke. It's really about the potty. Oh, and I don't want to tell you that because I think it's kind of gross. But it's the only one I can remember, of course, right? Does anybody have a dad joke they want to share? If you have one, put it in the comments and I'll share it with everybody. I did have a couple of them and I wrote them down, but they're in my phone, which is currently what I'm using to show off my work here. So I'm going to do another row and then we'll have the body of the hat done. Ah, exciting. Okay. Go into that corner stitch. Slip stitch. Chain one. Single crochet. There we go. Now go into the corresponding on the back. Go under this yarn. Oh my gosh, I don't know if I'll ever remember the first time anyway, and then do a slip stitch. Yay. Now we're on our way. We're going to single crochet in the front and slip stitch in the back. Single crochet in the front, slip stitch in the back. Now, if you ever get to a point, a part where you have, ended a row and it has like little bumps right there, just find a corresponding stitch somehow and work it out. Just work it out. Because once we do the stitches over top, once we do the connecting stitches over top, you're not going to notice that that's where you finished off, okay? Because sometimes there's like little lumpies right there. Just work right over it. Like find your double crochet stitch and kind of go right above it, and then do your slip stitch on that one, do the single crochet on this one, and then on the back one I've got one more lumpy right there. I'm just going to go in and slip stitch right there, and voila, we've worked over that, and it's not going to show up, and it's not going to be lumpy anymore. It's just going to work right into this. Okay, so Catherine, the yarn for the body is, I love this yarn by Hobby Lobby, and it's in cinnamon cedar. And the yarn for the connection is Bernat Premium in gray marl. So it is a charcoal gray. It's a blackish gray. Actually, when I looked at it, I initially thought, oh, that's a black. But then the more I looked at it, no, it's a charcoal gray, and which I really like. I like it a lot, actually. So those are the two colors that I'm using. Okay, so I just did a slip stitch, and I know this because my hook is really prominent in the back. So I'm going to do a single crochet and then go to the corresponding and do a slip stitch. Try and keep those out of the way. Single crochet, slip stitch, single crochet, slip stitch, and then in the corresponding corner, the corner that stitch that was not worked is where I'm going to go right now. And the corresponding in the back. And then jump over and go into the next one. Corresponding. Here we go. There we go. You're welcome, Catherine. You're welcome. Sounds like there's a bird outside. Okay. This is going pretty quickly. I mean, it's still taking time because when you're making something like a hat or something big like this, it does take time. But the good news is that it's fun, and while you're making it, you can chat with your friends. Is anybody else making this right now? Do you want to come live with me? I'll send you the link. Just let me know. Okay, so I have, oh, look at this. Look at that. How pretty is that? I wanted it to be kind of like a frame around it, right? I think this is going to be so pretty. Oh my goodness. I think what I'm going to do is make a tutorial, and let's see. So I know I put this down, but I know that I am at the front because that's where my yarn is attached. So that tells me I need to find the corresponding and go in the back and do a slip stitch, which is going to be right here. All right. Sometimes these little yarny end pieces are trouble. Yeah, I'm going to have to do a tutorial for this so that people who want to make this hat can just follow the tutorial. I'll show how I make my granny squares, show how I put them together, and show how I make the brim. Okay, we're going on hour 2. It's 1 hour and 43 minutes. So I don't know how much longer we want to keep going, but I'm willing if you're willing to stick around. And then I'll do the tutorial so that it will not be this long. The tutorial will just give the basic instructions. It'll show some stitches, like how to do this border. Well, I'm calling it a border, how to do this connecting border. I really like this connecting border. I'm the biggest fan right now of my own invention, of my own design, right? Just playing around last night and I came up with this way of doing the connection. My goal was to have a little bit of a ridge, but not a huge ridge. And so I think I succeeded. I'm getting close to the end. So if you don't have your granny squares made up and you're watching, you could, you can make up some granny squares right now. And then once you get about 18 to 20, then you could go ahead and make this hat. Okay, one more square. Hmm. So like I said, if you're in the corner and you can't get those two V, V strands, just go for the back bump. And if you get the back bump in there, then that means that you have the V on top. So, okay. We're in the home stretch here. Woo woo. Okay, that last little corner right here. And we will be done with this row. All right. All right, here we are. Now look at all these strands. But look how pretty this is. Is this just the most beautiful hat in the world? So now what we're going to do is we're going to crochet up this side and connect it to this side. So we're going to turn it over, fold it over so that the wrong sides are together, and we're going to crochet up this side. And then we will have the hat shape. Oops, sorry, I was a little too close. We'll have the hat shape. All right. Yeah. I'm getting in a hurry because I see the end in sight and I'm getting in a hurry. All right, so I'm going to go into the corner stitch. All right, we're going to slip stitch. Chain one, single crochet. The same as every other connection. Then we're going to go under the strand of yarn. We're going to find the corresponding stitch on the back side, and we are going to slip stitch. Then we're going to go down the row, single crochet, corresponding with a slip stitch on the back, just the same as we have with all of these other connectings. The only difference is this time, woo-woo, we're making, oh gosh, let me see if I can find that rest of that stitch. Here we go. Okay, good. I like making sure that I have both stitches on top. I feel like that makes a really strong connection. All right, so here is the unworked corner stitch and then the corresponding unworked corner stitch in the back. And then we're going to jump over. Come on. There we go. All right, then we're going to jump over. Oop, I almost did a single crochet on the back. Did you see that? But I caught myself. Ooh, it's 11 o'clock. I'm going to have to stop in just a minute. It's almost 11. So once I get this worked up, I'm going to go ahead and stop. And on Friday, we will finish with the brim of the hat. I thought that maybe we could get this all together today, but no, not today. I have another live planned with the Southern Crocheters at noon today, and so I need to take a little break. But I do want to get this all together, and then all we have to do is the brim and bring the top together. How we're going to do that. And ta-da. Okay. One more square to connect. Okay. We're almost done with this end. This is fun. I can't even express to you how much fun it is to make this hat because I'm watching it come together and it's so pretty with the border and I'm in love with it. Okay, last stitch in the corner. Did that work? Nope. Of course, this very last stitch is going to be the one that just gives me the problem. But like I said, I told it who was boss. I showed it who was boss. And here we go. So this is our hat. Can you see? I have lots of ends to weave in. So before Friday, I'm going to weave in these ends and I'm going to prepare for the border and connecting the top. And I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week. I will see you on Friday morning. And listen, if you're around in about an hour, I'm going to be going live with 2 other Southerners. And we are going to be going live, Southern Crocheters Live, and it's going to be noon Eastern Standard Time. So it's about an hour from now. It's going to be on this channel this month. So yes, we are going to be talking about something that's really important, and that's called the winter blues. And so we're going to be talking about that, and we're going to be having fun, doing dad jokes. I do have some dad jokes that I will be sharing there, but I did have some for this one, but I can't access them, and I am so not, I have the mind like of a steel trap, right? So not. So what do you think about this so far? Join me Friday morning and we will finish the hat and we're going to have some fun, fun, fun with that. Let me tell you, I cannot wait to do the border on this hat, the brim, and also bring it together at the top. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week. Stay safe, be kind, and get hooking. And I will see you on Friday.